Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
When the organizers were talking about the time allocation, the 7 minutes maximum, I was just asking my colleague near there to say, are they aware there's a politician among the list of speakers? But apparently it looks like musicians talk a lot after me. I wish to acknowledge the organizers of this wonderful event, any religious, political, and civic leaders present, countrymen and women. Allow me to say all protocol observed. Before I proceed with my message on this special day, I believe that it is in order to pay tribute to our under-20 national soccer team who overcame various odds last Sunday, both natural and supernatural, to win the under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. Can we give them a round of applause? My name is ENOCK TEMBO. I'm a father, a citizen, an aspiring president of this nation, under the umbrella of Patriots for Economic Progress, or simply PEP. I'm sure you're familiar with the PEP stores, so PEP shouldn't be too difficult to remember. PEP is a political party that was formally registered last year in October on the basis of 4 key principles. These are patriotism, accountability, competence, and courage. So those are the 4 key principles on the basis of which Patriots for Economic Progress was founded. Our political party symbol is something very easy to flash. It's a smile. So all you need to do to flash our symbol is just smile. I can see a smile here and that's good. I'm also a chartered accountant. I run an accounting firm which is in full audit practice. This firm is called ENOCK Associates. It was founded in 2004 when I was just 24 years old. And over the past couple of years, we've opened a number of branches around, including in South Africa and Botswana. In fact, the past 10 or 11 years, I spent most of it in the aeroplane, actually moving between the 3 branches, until sometime last year when I thought I needed to come home and sit down and basically see what I can do to contribute to the governance of my country, Zambia. However, I stand before you this evening only in my capacity as a Zambian citizen. I am a Zambian citizen who has been, and who will continue to be concerned about the welfare of my fellow citizens. Zambia is a country that has good weather. We have plenty of rainfall. We have very fertile land. We've never been ravaged by any war or any civil strife. We have a relatively healthy citizenry. We have vast mineral resources, from base metals such as copper to precious minerals such as gold and gemstones. We have a very rich culture and heritage. We speak 72 languages, and yet we remain one of the poorest countries in the region. Even countries that are coming out of war, countries that are coming out of the ruins of war, like Rwanda, countries like Mozambique, countries like Angola, are doing far much better than us. And most of our citizens have actually trekked to those countries in search of jobs. Even countries which are mostly made up of a desert, like Botswana, where more than 80% of the country is actually a desert, are doing far much better than us. They export more beef to the European Union than us, who have very green vegetation. The question is why? Why are we not able to realize our potential? Why are the vast majority of our citizens still wallowing in poverty and squalor? Why are we suffering so much despite our immense potential to be prosperous? Why? That's the question. Why? Why are we as a people, as Zambians, continuously failing to build better lives for ourselves? Why? There are two types of poverty, ladies and gentlemen, which a country can suffer from, and which I've observed over the years. There is what I prefer to call single-aged poverty, and there is what I prefer to call double-aged poverty. I'll start by explaining the single-aged poverty. There are two versions of single-aged poverty as well, which I came up with my analysis of the poverty that we are going through as a nation. The first version of single-aged poverty is what I call left-tilted single-aged poverty, which is a situation whereby the citizens are poor and the government is rich. So you have a situation, you have certain countries where the citizens are poor, but the government is rich. An example of such a country, if you've traveled around, is perhaps Namibia. If you go to Namibia, you find that especially black Namibian citizens are in dire poverty, whereas the country as a whole is actually doing very well. Then there is a second type of poverty, which I call light-tilted single-aged poverty. This is a situation whereby the people are doing better than the government. The people are doing far better than the government. And an example of a country where you say there is light-tilted single-aged poverty is perhaps Nigeria, whereby the citizens, the majority of citizens, in fact, the majority of billionaires in Africa come from Nigeria, but the government itself is very poor. They can't put up infrastructure, they can't put up anything on the ground. And then for left-tilted single-aged poverty, where the government is richer than the population, that can be addressed by having effective social welfare systems in place, whereby the government actually gives out some kind of assistance to its citizens. And then when you have right-tilted single-aged poverty like the way it is in Nigeria, that can be addressed because the government can increase taxation, which means they can collect more from its citizens and try to build resources. But then the version of poverty that we seem to have as a nation is what I would call double-aged poverty. This is poverty whereby the citizens are poor and the government is poor as well. Now, the trouble with having such a situation is that it cannot be addressed by either increasing taxation, which means you're getting from the citizens, or putting in place social welfare systems, which means the government giving to the people. Because the government is poor and it cannot give to the people what it doesn't have. And if you look at our situation right now, you'll find that in the last budget, in the 2017 budget, the government allocated about 700 million kwacha towards the social cash transfer scheme. This is a scheme whereby a number of citizens, in fact the beneficiaries have since increased to about 500,000 countrywide, are paid certain monthly incomes of about 100 kwacha. And at the same time, a number of indirect taxes were increased during the last budget. So the effect of that is that the government is both giving and taking away from the citizens. And the end result is that we have zero results. It is the same as going to sit under a tree and you have 20 kwacha in your left pocket, and throughout the day you are getting the 20 kwacha from your left pocket, putting it to the right pocket, and then getting it from the right pocket, putting it to the left pocket, and then back and forth. At the end of the day, you are not going to remain with the 20 kwacha. What you are going to remain with is an 18 kwacha, because you might have probably spent a 2 kwacha to buy a cup of maize, because the entire process is energy consuming. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the situation that we as a country are actually faced with. We are faced with a very dire situation And that situation requires to be addressed. Our government is poor. It can hardly meet its recurrent expenditure obligations, as many times salaries of institutions such as the University of Zambia are usually paid rent. Now, when you look at expenditure, you have recurrent expenditure and you have government expenditure. So if you cannot meet your recurrent expenditure obligations, it means that you can't even think of meeting your government expenditure obligations. Whenever you see some development which is happening around, it is being funded by either a Chinese road, such as the Lusaka L400 road network in the compound, or it is being funded by a World Bank grant, such as the Lusaka Sanitation Project, or it's a US government grant, such as the Millennium Challenge Account projects, where they're improving sanitation in places like Mtendere, Charleston, this whole area. Every time you see some development, it means we've borrowed, or someone has felt pity for us and they've come to assist us. That is the situation in which we are. Ladies and gentlemen, the citizens of this nation are in so much poverty that the majority go days on end without a meal. Days on end without a meal. That is why they are willing to risk their lives and eventually, unfortunately, end up dying in a stampede like what happened last time. The most striking thing about that stampede is not that people went there to get the free packets. I would have gone there to get one myself if I heard about it. The most striking thing about that stampede is that even after the stampede happened and people were taken to hospitals and MBCD, those who remained refused to leave until they had to get the package, which of course wasn't available. So it means that despite what happened, people were still not willing to leave. So that just shows you the extent of poverty that our citizens are actually going through. Getting back to our initial question, why are we so poor despite our great potential as a country? Why are we suffering from double-edged poverty? That is the question we started with. The answer is poor leadership. Poor leadership, ladies and gentlemen. The solution is for us to improve on the quality of our political leadership. Perhaps an important question that is worth asking is, what qualities should a president possess? Probably a lot of qualities, but I narrowed it down to basically 4 key qualities, and that is patriotism, accountability, competence, and courage. As an individual, I believe that I'm patriotic, I'm accountable, I'm competent, and I'm courageous. And as I stand before you this evening, as a possible solution to Zambia's leadership problems, I basically want to appeal to you to be more involved in the political process of the country. When time to register as voters comes, you need to queue up on that queue and participate in the democratic process of this nation. I thank you.